the slight left on crest 40, slight right here in
November 25th. Richard Burns is the world champion. November 25th. Richard Burns passed away. One day, he was under a shimmering light. On the same day, 4 years later, he was alone in the dark. Rally racing is brutal. Rally drivers chase speed through narrow roads. They don't care about weather, surface, or anything else. Those who master rallying are among the most respected drivers worldwide. Richard Burns was one of them, and this is his story. In 1971, on a cold winter in Reading, near London, Richard Burns came to the world. Far from the traditional centres of British motorsport, with no family dynasty behind him, he showed a precocious, almost instinctive understanding of vehicle dynamics. By the age of 8, Burns was already driving in an open field near his house, learning the basics of driving at an age others play with model cars. At 11, he joined the Under-17 Car Club, an organization designed to teach minors how to drive correctly, safely, and with mechanical awareness. Here, he learned discipline. This environment shaped a driver who was rarely the fastest on a single round, but almost always the cleanest and most consistent. At 15, during a visit to the Welsh Forest Rally School, Burns drove a Ford Escort on gravel for the first time. It was here that rallying stopped being an interest and became a direction. Shortly afterward, he joined this local motorsport club and came to the attention of David Williams, a journalist and a key figure among the first to believe in Burns. Burns' competitive debut came in 1988, driving a Talbot Sunbeam. The car was underpowered and poorly competitive. Richard, however, gained experience, which in rally racing is a crucial element. Through the English and Welsh countryside, Burns drove on narrow streets, covered in mud and surrounded by trees. 2 years later, Williams acquired a Peugeot 205 GTI, allowing Burns to enter the Peugeot Challenge, a one-make series that offered young drivers a clear path toward international competition. Burns won at his first try. On the same muddy roads where he learned to go fast, in 1991 he earned his first World Rally Championship start. It was the Rally Great Britain, and Burns finished 16th overall and first in his class. His talent became apparent to the World Championships regulars. He has been noticed.
17. Minus.
On that occasion, Burns met Robert Reid, a Scottish co-driver who became famous in the National Championship navigating the McRae brothers, Colin and Alistair. Burns and Reid shared the same approach, calm, analytical, methodical. After their first rally, they became a team and started racing together, first in Nationals, then in the World Championship. Burns and Reid's rise through the 19s was gradual. With Subaru, they became British Rally Champions, proving their collaboration to be good. Burns has now obtained the greatest achievement on home soil. It was time to go international. In the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, he has shown adaptability across vastly different conditions. He caught the attention of Subaru and Mitsubishi. With the Impreza and then the Lancer, Burns ran selected races in the WRC in the mid-90s. 1995. Rally Great Britain. Colin McRae is the new world champion, beating Carlos Sainz in the last race of that year. But, while everyone's attention was on the battle for the title, Richard Burns ended the race in third place. He earned his first podium on the global stage, and he did it again on his home soil. By the late 90s, Richard Burns was consistently near the top of the standings. The first win came in 1988, at the end of the Safari. The hardest rally was the first to give him the top spot. And a few months later, the first win at Rally JB. His rally, the one where he had his first WRC race and his first podium. 1999. Burns left Mitsubishi to sign again with Subaru. 3 wins and a second place in the championship. 2000. 4 wins, second in the championship, once again. Burns was competing among the gods of that time: McRae, Mäkinen, Gronholm and Sainz. but he was still missing something that the other four already achieved: winning the World Rally Championship. 2001 starts with a retirement in Monaco and a 16th place in Sweden. The season did not start in Bernd's favor. The attention is on Mäkinen and Rovanperä. Fans expect a long battle between the two Finns until November. Then, Colin McRae wins twice in a row. He's now the new favorite. Bernd responds with patience. He was solid, he knew he could win with consistency. Portugal, first points. Argentina, first podium. New Zealand, first win of the season. While others crashed or retired, Bernd collected points. As the season progressed, he was now the fourth contender. The championship once again ended in Wales. Once again Bernd races on home soil, but that time he races for the title. On the leaderboard he's behind McRae and Mäkinen. He has to finish ahead of both. The other contender, Carlos Sainz, had to win and hope for the other three to score a zero. The Spanish is however unable to cross the finish line. Colin McRae is forced to retire too. Tommy Mäkinen has the same fate. Marcus Grönholm wins the rally, but is too far behind to close the gap. On the 25th of November in 2001, Richard Bernd ends the rally in third place. He is finally the new world champion. At 30 years old, Bernd has reached the highest achievement for a rally driver. He has proven that consistency could defeat speed, that discipline could win championships. After the title, he moved to Peugeot in 2002. The 206 WRC gives Bernd 5 podiums in the first season, then 7 in 2003. The fans loved him. His consistency was antithetical with McRae's relentlessness. The two faces of British drivers. Richard Bernd was going to win much more, or at least, everyone thought so. But Bernd wasn't happy with the podiums. He wanted to win again. Frustration grew enough to convince him to return to Subaru for 2004. With them, he won the title, and they hoped for a new success. With Peugeot, it was now just a cruise to the end of the season. In late 2003, Richard Bernd was driving to reach the location of the Rally Great Britain with the Ford driver Michael Martin. But suddenly, Richard Bernd just had a blackout. He withdrew from the event to seek medical support. Shortly afterwards, doctors diagnosed a malignant brain tumor, astrocytoma. This time, that was no rally stage to drive on. No strategy, no notes. Racing stopped. Throughout 2004 and early 2005, Bernd underwent therapy and surgery. There were moments of optimism, but recovery never came. Exactly 4 years after his World Rally title, Richard Bernd left this world. He was 34 years old. Richard Bernd left behind a legacy defined not by excess, but by precision. A world champion not by speed, but patience, a true lover of cars and motorsport. Richard Bernd still stands today as one of the most loved rally drivers. In August 2005, months before his death, his fans were invited to see his private car collection, with Robert Reed driving some of them. Bernd left, but his legacy is solid. Rally racing is brutal, but when the helmet comes off, the only thing that remains is a human being, one of the many that love to go fast. Darkness is the only thing that remains when the lights are switched off. Richard Bernd was under the greatest of the lights. But dimness isn't the end of all. He gave the name to the Richard Bernd Rally, a rally video game praised by critics and drivers and still in use today. He lives in the limited edition Subarus that bear his name. Many of the drivers of today started racing after watching Bernd's races. He's still giving life to this world, and new generations will know of him as the one Bose Marks still stands today on rally.